everybody. This is Dana with Freedom Please channel and essenceofme.com. I'm coming to you all today with another crafters chat video because today I took two classes at Joann's for their, I guess they have different classes that they give, but I did the classes under the yarn crafters, I believe is what they call it. So let me just tell you all what I did and what I thought about it. And I look forward to, I guess, any questions or whatever, just drop them in the comment section. Okay. Of course, I paid for the, well, I didn't pay for the classes. My husband paid for the classes. Last week was our anniversary, and I had been eyeing the classes for a long time. I was dropping many hints over the Christmas holidays, which no one apparently picked up on. But my husband, he was like, okay, I'm going to get you, two classes. The great thing is I had saved a coupon because they do have coupons especially for their classes. You can't use the regular coupons, but they have certain, like usually it's a weekend or over a course of several days where you can get the classes for 50% off. So I was able to take both of my classes today for both 50% off. So between the two, it was the same cost as one class. So that was one of mine gifts that my husband got me for our anniversary, which I'm so glad he did it because I loved it. And so let's jump in. Um, so we paid for the class with our own money. I am not affiliated with Joann's or anything like that. I just shopped there and I wanted to try one of the crafters classes. I started knitting a little bit at the end of last year. I had knitted very briefly a few years ago, but I was not familiar with knitting. And so what I did was at the end of the year, I went and I purchased a DVD, which I'm going to do a review video over because people have been asking me about it, and I'll do that in a separate video and tell you all about it. But I did the DVD, and I wanted to do the class because I purchased a knitting pattern book and I want to make a piece from out of there. So I wanted to take the class so that I can make sure that I was doing the stitches correctly. Also because I wanted to learn a little bit more about reading knitting patterns because I can read crochet patterns, but I could not really, I didn't know much about reading knitting patterns. So that's the background story, which was kind of detailed. So the first thing is when you go to Joann's, usually you can ask for it, but they have these little pamphlets that look like this. This is the one from November, December, which I should trash. Basically, let me just show you all. This is kind of messy. I have a folder where I keep my crafters coupons. I keep my special deals. I keep any of the coupons that I know that I'm going to use that come in the mail. All we keep them organized in this folder, so when we go to the crafting store, it stays in the car. All we have to do is get it, and we know we have all the coupons. So the classes come in the little brochure that looks like this, and they change, from season to season. They usually are for 2 month spans. This one is for November, December. I don't know how I misplaced my other one for January and February, but I actually saw the one available that's coming out for March and April. Oh, yeah, March and April. I saw that today in Joann's. So anyway, they show pictures of the classes, cake decorating, and here is my section right here. Yarn classes. What do they call them? Oh, well, they just say knit and crochet. And these are usually the same across the country. What differs is your local store will have their own calendar as well as the schedule. It has the class and the schedule, and it has the times. Okay, they call them Yarncrafting classes. They have the schedules and the time. And again, this is an old one. I don't know what I did for my new one. I must have left it there. So if you want to take the classes, check them out. For the most part, I guess they probably run For the yarn crafting classes, I've seen them as low as 35 and high around 40. I guess 45. I'm sorry, this may differ. I don't know, but I mean, this is a crafting talk, right? So, the 35, and on this one it went as high as $40. So if you get the when they have the coupon or the discount days, you can get those at 50% off. They even have some of their classes, let's say like this basic knitting class, that has free supplies while they last, which was great because that's what happened for me. So that means I got the class at 50% off on top of receiving the supplies that I needed for the project that we were working on for free. So that's the backdrop on the classes that are at Joann's. Just to get an overview. And so for me today, I took the knitting 101 and the knitting 102. I don't know why my lighting is going out. Even though I knew the basic stitches, I just wanted to make sure that I was doing it right. So that's why I wanted to do the 101. The 102 was doing a pattern, and I thought that would help me with the pattern reading. The cool thing is when you sign up for the class, they also give you a coupon on purchasing any of your one of your supplies items if it is regularly priced. And you get a 40% off coupon if you need to purchase supplies for your class, which I thought was good. And they give you one per registration. The other thing that I thought was fantastic is we also today received a 50% off coupon for another knitting or crochet class. And so with another 40% off coupon for supplies. So any regularly priced item, and that one is not limited to being a class supply. And so, anyways, I'm like going on and on. The point is, I took the 101 class, loved it. Of course, instructors are going to change from place to place, but the instructor that I had, she was awesome. And I say she was awesome because the class was very small. So she was able to just kind of sit down with us and we could see her doing it and she could help us doing it. It was only two of us in the class. The other lady, she had never knitted before, and I had knitted some. So she sat in between us and she helped both of us at the same time. And what we received in our free supplies was we received a skein of Vanna White yarn. And I don't have the wrapper, but we received a skein of the Vanna White yarn. We received a set of knitting needles. And these were plastic, and I didn't really care for them. They are size 9, just plastic knitting needles. Oh, and these supplies were provided by Lion Brand Yarns. We received a Lion Brand yarn little tote, reusable tote. And I think that was it. I think that was it. Okay. So the basic 101 was basic. We went over knit stitch, purl stitch, casting on, casting off, and we did garter. Don't get me to telling the story. Garter stitch, you know, where you do, I don't know, where you knit a row, purl a row, whatever. The point is, had a great time. What I took away from that class that was invaluable is the fact that I did not know until today that I knit European style. Now, you may be thinking, why did you not know that? Or how do you know it now? We were working and she saw that my yarn, I pulled my yarn from the left. And apparently I stumped her because after some time, she said, or she kind of asked me, I guess after a string of questions, are you left-handed? And I don't think I've ever shared that, but I am left-handed. And but usually I craft as if I'm right-handed. So I crochet with my right hand. I do a lot of things with my right hand, and I can actually write with both hands. Ambidextrous is what they call it. You know, it's not as neat, but it is probably more legible than many people. Um, And so we realized that, well, so then she had to go get a book. She said that she went to get a book to see how to show me left-handed. But once she started really watching the way that I was doing my knit and purl stitch, she realized that I was still stitching similar to a right-handed person. It's just my yarn was being pulled from the left instead of the right. And we had to make a minor adjustment to keep my stitches from twisting on my knit stitch. But what the reason why I find that invaluable is because I wouldn't have known that. I wouldn't have known that because I learned how to knit from a DVD. And because I am a very visual learner when it comes to crafting, I just watch what someone does, which is what I did on the DVD, and I just mimic it in the best of my ability. So that's what I was doing. So now I know I knit the European style. So I was like, okay, so I'm fancy, you know? um, which challenged her, and she was excited about that. I'm sure she wasn't expecting it, but it challenged her. And so she was saying that in the future, she was going to make sure that she brought her knitting books with her so that if she needed to make adjustments for left handed knitters. And so when it was all said and done, I made this little funny looking thing, and you can't see it too much, right? But I mean, it's just like when you're learning to crochet and you do rows of single, rows of double, rows of triple. That's all that it was. And so it was really nice. And overall, it was an enjoyable experience. In the knitting 102 class, 10 whatever, I think it was 102. Did I say it? Yes, 102 class. We did a hat. I really hate that I don't know what I did with it. Maybe it's because I was signing up for another class and I misplaced it. I don't know. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry that I'm like spacey. In the here's the yarn is Vantage Choice. It is in Tangerine Mist is the color. It's okay. It's like, yeah, it was free. We also received these instructions, an instruction pamphlet, and we also received these instructions for the class. All of this was in the materials from a Lion brand yarn. So it was a good set. So that was kind of backtracking. So the hat that we were working on is this hat. I don't have the color, forgive me. And here is what my piece is still attached and it's not done. Looks like this. Look, it looks like something. Yay! I got a little boo boo there because this was my. Okay, so for the 102 class, we received these Suzanne Bates knitting needles that are size 8 and it's 14 inches. We received these as well as a skein of of with love. And I think I've used this before, but not this color. This color is True Blue. And this yarn is okay. It's it's better than it's softer than your traditional red heart yarn to me. But it still has a lot more weight and a little more easier to grit than their Simply Soft, which I usually don't care for too much at all. And so overall, it was okay. I did not like the fact that it splits a lot more, and I've never. I mean, we all know that Red Hearts is a little more affordable line, and so sometimes you get that when you. I don't want to say cheap, but we know we got to do what we got to do within our budget, right? So, but this one, even more so than any of the other Red Hearts, I found that it split a lot more, and that was something that took place with that, like one of the areas that was a little fuzzy because it split and I had to drop it and whatever. But anyway, so I'll keep working on the hat. The great thing is that I believe I'll be able to finish the entire hat with this one skein of yarn. So I will keep working on my hat. So we received the knitting needles for the second class as well as the skein of yarn. And We worked on this hat. I'm going to work on it some more. That the 102 class, which is considered an advanced class, was a lot different than a one-on-one, of course, because the one-on-one we were sitting down, we were talking, but in that 102 class, it was just work. It was 3 hours pretty much of knitting, and that class expected us to already know how to knit, how to. The pattern only called for just basic. I mean, it was a very easy pattern to read. The only thing that was in there that I had not done was the, I guess, the tog or stitch or whatever. Um, and so I'll keep working on it, and I will show what my final hat is once I'm done. And so at the end of all of this extremely long video, is that I believe, especially because I received the class at a discount with the coupon, but even without the coupon, what do I believe that class, the first class was worth $35? Yes, yes, it was worth $35. The second class, do I believe it was worth $40? I would say because of my instructor, yes. Because the other lady had some problems and she was able to remove the stitches, get the lady back on track, and everything like that. And I believe when you're doing an advanced class, that's what you're paying for. You're paying for that person's expertise and their ability to teach you. And the lady was very patient. She could look at it and tell you what was wrong. And both the other lady and myself, um, we were we were crafters. I mean, she had been knitting for a little while, for quite a while, and doing big projects, and was wanting to learn how to do patterns. And even though my area is crochet, I think it carries over well once you get the hang of the abbreviations. So she was able to kind of jump in there, and we both started where we were because the lady, she had attended another class and came back and did the class again. The only thing that I did not like about the advanced class is the fact that you don't get much done in 3 hours if you're like me, slow. And so it's not meant for you to finish the class in one sitting. It's meant to just get you started, which is good. But if you had a complicated pattern, I would say it wouldn't be good because you would probably more than likely want to come back. And that means, in essence, you wouldn't be paying $30 to take a class. You'd be paying more like $60 to take a class if you are not familiar enough to finish it on your own and wanted to come back to, have the assistance of the instructor. But on the other hand, from a perspective of an instructor, is, you're paying for that person's time, their expertise, and the particular instructor that does the classes at my Joann's, for the yarn crafting classes, and she also does the jewelry making classes. I would pay for her time. I would pay for her time, and I did, and I'm going to take another class for a scarf next week. So that was my experience. I would say if you are a crafter, even if you've been crafting for a while and you just want to brush up, or you want to learn how to read patterns, or you want to expand your world of crafting, take a class. Now, you don't have to always pay. There are many local libraries that give free crocheting classes. There are also now some smaller yarn stores. Like, I don't want to call it mom and pop, but you all know what I'm talking about. Like mom and pop yarn stores that also do classes. For this particular one, if the class size was to remain like that, meaning it's only a few people, which I think it would be because I took it during the day on a weekday, I would pay and go right back there and do it again because I don't expect them to be as crowded as their weekend classes or as their evening classes. With that said, I would highly recommend it, especially if you get the coupons. So, what I, in closing, I would say to you is go and grab one of these from your local Joann's. And I didn't even look as to whether it's available in the app. But I keep saying I'm gonna go. I really am. But if you go to the website, you put in your zip code, you find your store, go to the information about the store, and they usually have this portion of the pamphlet in a PDF. So you can find the times and the dates for the classes in that particular store. Now, I don't know if that's true for all of them. I know it has always been true for my local store, that I've been able to find online. But as soon as they release these, I always make sure that I get a copy. And they have a little, like a wall display, and they hang in the wall display, and you grab one. And they also, even though this is an old one, I'm giving you all this information. I hope it's helpful. If it's not, no, I'm just playing. Okay. In the back of it, they usually have the weekends where they're running the 50% off specials. So I'd say give it a try. You know, I mean, and it's fun. It was so much fun. I mean, even all I did was knit. But hey, I didn't knit long. We talked. The environment was wonderful. This particular Joann's, the classroom is in the front of the store. But the good thing about it is they had a plexiglass, so it wasn't too noisy. The music in the store was a very kind of oldie, but enough to where you kind of was knitting and bobbing your head. I grabbed coffee from Starbucks on my way in, so I had coffee and had a great time. So, oh, last thing for real, and then I'm signing off. The classes each were the 101 class was 2.5 hours. The 102 class, which is the advanced class, was 3 hours. So, about what's that? Probably about 12 to $13 ish per hour, maybe between 12 and 15. I'm sorry. Yeah, brain fried. So that's it for me. I hope that this was helpful to you. If you decide to take a class, let me know. Or if you've taken some of the other classes there, I have my eye on the sewing classes as well. Mm. And last year, I mean, their last this last cycle of crafting yarn classes were, to me, they're a lot better than the ones that are coming up next month and the month after. So I probably won't do them. Dropping yarn books, I mean pattern books. I probably won't do them again except for the last one next week. So that's it. I'll give you all an update on my project once it's done. And I hope this information was helpful and that you are enjoying the Crafters Chat videos. Let me know if you have any comments, questions, or concerns. I look forward to interacting with you in the comment section. If you have any other questions, you can visit me online at essenceofme.com. Thank you so much for your time and take care. And I will hopefully speak with you all sooner than later. Goodbye.